A winner is someone who recognises his God-given talent, works his tail off to develop that into skill, and uses these skills to accomplish his goals. Talent alone will never be enough. Good morning, boys. Today I'm here to talk to you about perseverance, courage, and sacrifice, which I believe are three of the main elements involved in growing from boys into young men. The first of two stories I'm going to tell is the parable of talents, which is found in the Bible to illustrate the importance and the burden of talent. One day a man was going on a long trip. He needed his servants to take care of his property while he was gone, so he called them to meet him. To the first servant he gave 5 talents of money, which today is the equivalent to around $5,000. This man went to work at once, using and investing his money, until he had doubled what he originally had. The second man then got 2 talents, due to the second man being less capable of managing a larger amount of money. The second man was successful also, and doubled his money. He began with more than $2,000, and now he had twice as much. The third man was not as capable as the other two, but the master gave him 1 talent with the expectation that he would manage it well. He too could have increased his money, but instead he dug a hole and hid it in the ground. After a long time, the master returned and called the servants back to him, eagerly awaiting a report on how they had used the gifts that he had given them. The man who received the 5 talents brought his money and showed the master that he had doubled it. The master was well pleased. He said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness." The man that had been given 2 talents showed the master that he had also doubled his money. He received the same words of praise as the first man who received 5 talents. The man who received 1 talent dug up the talent that he had buried and brought it to the master. He accused the master of being a hard man to work for, saying that he had been afraid, so he just buried his talent. He gave it back to the master, saying, "See, here is what belongs to you." The master was very angry with him and called him a wicked, lazy servant. He said the man should have at least put the money with bankers and received some interest. The master took his 1 talent away from him and gave it to the man who had 10 talents, and the 1 talent man was punished because he had not properly used the gift that he had been given. This story that Jesus told talks about the use of talents as an analogy for the gifts and the natural abilities that we've all been blessed with. It teaches us that everyone has talent, but talent alone is useless. Like the first 2 servants, success and rewards only come to those who put in the work and have the perseverance and courage to grow and develop their talent to their highest potential. This story also illustrates that it's not the area or the extent of our talent that defines our success, but the way that we choose to use it. This next story I'm about to share proves the fact that no matter what your talent is, be it rugby, chess, or picking up babes, there is always room to push further, work harder, and to use those talents to achieve greatness. As a boy, Jean Francis Gravelet, now known as the Great Blunden, discovered that he had a passion and a talent for standing up and not falling over. Because of his passion for not falling over, Jean decided that he would develop his talent by training to be a tightrope walker in the European circus. After years of determination and perseverance, a 31-year-old Jean came to America and made the announcement that he would cross the gorge of the Niagara River on a tightrope. To put this in perspective, the tightrope was over half a kilometre long, over 50 metres high, and was a link between 2 separate countries, Canada and America. On the 30th of June, 1859, the rope was in place, and at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the Great Blunden started the trip that was to make history. As he crossed the Great Gorge for the very first time, watchers saw him stop, lower a bottle on a rope down to the water, bring it up to take a refreshing drink, right before he did a backflip. Jean had achieved greatness, but like the first 2 men in the parable of talents, he wasn't content doing nothing with his ability from there. So he decided to strive to be better and to push the boundaries of his potential. After his original tightrope walk with a backflip, Jean then continued to cross the Great Niagara Falls tightrope on a bicycle, pushing a wheelbarrow, blindfolded, with his manager on his back. He did it once more with his hands and feet tied together, and for my personal favourite, he even crossed the deadly waterfall on a tightrope, where at the halfway mark he cooked himself an omelette on a small stove he'd been carrying and ate some lunch. The point here is that Jean Francis Gravelet was not a great man, and he did not have a great talent. Jean was just a boy who was good at not falling over, that used his passion and his determination to take his talent to its highest potential. All it took was perseverance and courage. To follow your passion and to become an expert in your field will probably appeal to everyone in this hall. But the reason that not many people achieve their full potential is because it's one of the most difficult things there is to do. Success does not come easy. You'll face obstacle after obstacle trying to stop you progressing. Greatness does not come easy. You'll get distracted and deterred from every angle, most of all by yourself and the limits that you create. The best method to fulfilling your potential is preparation. Know that it's not going to be easy. Anticipate obstacles and have systems in place to overcome them. Tell someone your plans, write down your goals, and memorise motivational quotes to give you a fighting chance when life tries to stop you. Dr. Seuss once summed up preparation perfectly by saying, "I have heard there are troubles of more than one kind. Some come from ahead and some come from behind. But I've bought a big bat, I'm all ready, you see. Now my troubles are going to have troubles with me." Boys, for the following year ahead, I challenge you to reach your potential. I dare you to stay home from a party to study, work, or train. The people around you right now will all share in your success, but only a few will share in your failure. After all of your choices are made, after your talent has been used or wasted, the only person left at the path that you're on is you. So work hard. Give your talent every chance to succeed. Push the boundaries that people place on what you can do. Persevere, have courage, and sacrifice. To finish off, I have a quote from a great past American president. "Nothing in this world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful people with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated losers. Persistence and determination alone define greatness." Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. That was an incredibly good message, delivered incredibly well, and I know there's an awful lot of preparation and persistence went into making that happen. Thank you again. Congratulations. Morena, Purinoa, Purinoa, I te whare nei, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou.